In a world where conversations about masculinity often revolve around traditional stereotypes and toxic behaviors, it's essential to shed light on the subtler, often overlooked aspects that can undermine a healthy expression of masculinity. While it's crucial to challenge harmful notions of manhood, it's equally important to address the less discussed masculinity killers that can affect men's well-being, relationships, and personal growth. In this video, we will explore 9 significant masculinity killers that often go unnoticed. 1. Emotional suppression. One of the most pervasive masculinity killers is the societal pressure on men to suppress their emotions. From an early age, boys are often taught that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. This emotional suppression can lead to emotional stuntedness and difficulties in forming deep, meaningful connections with others. 2. Rigid gender roles. Traditional gender roles can be stifling. The expectation that men should be the primary breadwinners and avoid certain interests or careers perceived as feminine limits personal growth and stifles individual potential. 3. Isolation. Isolation is a silent masculinity killer. Men are often discouraged from forming close bonds with other men, which can lead to a lack of social support and emotional loneliness. Isolation can also contribute to mental health issues. 4. Body image expectations. Men are not immune to societal pressures when it comes to their bodies. The idealized image of a perfect male physique in media can lead to body image issues, unhealthy exercise and diet habits, and low self-esteem. 5. Unrealistic sexuality expectations. The objectification of women and the overemphasis on sexual conquest in popular culture can lead to skewed expectations about sex and relationships. This can result in performance anxiety, dissatisfaction, and difficulties in forming intimate connections. 6. Fear of failure. The fear of failure can be paralyzing for men. Whether it's related to career, relationships, or personal pursuits, the pressure to succeed can lead to anxiety, stress, and burnout. 7. Toxic competition. While competition can be healthy, the toxic nature of some male-dominated spaces can foster unhealthy rivalries and undermine cooperation and collaboration. This can harm not only individual men but also communities and societies. 8. Unhealthy coping mechanisms. Men are often encouraged to deal with stress and emotions through unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as excessive alcohol consumption or avoidance. These behaviors can lead to addiction and further exacerbate mental health issues. 9. Lack of role models. The absence of diverse, positive male role models who challenge traditional notions of masculinity can make it difficult for men to find healthier ways of being themselves. Here are some example stories that illustrate the various masculinity killers discussed in the video. Emotional suppression. Alex's struggle. Alex grew up in a household where he was taught to hide his emotions. Over the years, he became emotionally closed off, making it difficult for him to communicate with his partner about his feelings. This emotional suppression took a toll on their relationship, as his partner yearned for emotional intimacy and vulnerability. Rigid gender roles. Daniel's dream. Daniel had a passion for fashion design, but societal expectations pressured him into pursuing a career in finance. Despite his success in the finance industry, he always felt unfulfilled and longed to pursue his true passion. Isolation. John's loneliness. John had a group of friends in college, but as he entered adulthood, he was expected to prioritize work over social connections. He found himself increasingly isolated and struggled with loneliness and depression. Body image expectations. Chris's struggle. Chris constantly compared himself to the perfectly sculpted bodies he saw on social media. This led him to develop an unhealthy obsession with his appearance, ultimately resulting in body dysmorphic disorder. Unrealistic sexuality expectations. Mark's experience. Mark felt immense pressure to live up to the sexual expectations perpetuated by media and his peers. This anxiety around his sexual performance created a barrier in his relationships and hindered his ability to enjoy intimacy. Fear of failure. Tom's anxiety. Tom was a talented musician but was too afraid to pursue a career in music due to the fear of not making it in the industry. He settled for a stable but unfulfilling job in IT, living with the constant regret of not following his passion. Toxic competition. The office rivalry. In a competitive corporate environment, 2 colleagues, Mike and Dave, engaged in a toxic rivalry that undermined their team's productivity. Their obsession with outdoing each other hindered cooperation and created a hostile work atmosphere. Unhealthy coping mechanisms. Jake struggle. Jake coped with work stress by drinking excessively. What started as occasional drinks after a hard day at the office soon turned into a daily habit, leading to alcohol addiction and negatively impacting his mental and physical health. Lack of role models. Chris's mentor. Chris grew up without positive male role models who challenged traditional masculinity. However, in college, he met a mentor who encouraged him to explore his interests, emotions, and identity without conforming to societal stereotypes, leading Chris to discover a healthier sense of self. These stories showcase how these masculinity killers can affect individuals in various ways and underscore the importance of addressing these issues to promote healthier expressions of masculinity and improve overall well-being. Conclusion. It's essential to recognize that masculinity is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Men should have the freedom to express themselves authentically and without fear of judgment. By addressing these 9 often overlooked masculinity killers, society can take a step towards fostering healthier and more inclusive notions of manhood. Encouraging open conversations and providing support for men to explore their emotions, interests, and identities can help break down these barriers and pave the way for a more positive and fulfilling experience of masculinity. Ultimately, promoting a more holistic and compassionate view of masculinity benefits not only men but society as a whole. Thanks for watching.